Hello, my people. Welcome to my YouTube channel today. This is Kenneth Yume Ogwajo, and we are here again to teach you how to make this wonderful bag. Both the pattern and the bag making is at the same video. So now let's go ahead. If you're a newly subscriber to my channel, thank you so much. And if you are here saying, I say, may God bless you, my dear. So now let's go ahead and make this beautiful bag. It's simple and easy and it's very fast to do. Now let's go ahead and do this. Please, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please try and do so. Then you hit the notification bell. So each time we upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks so much. Now let's go ahead. So I'll be using carbon paper to teach you the pattern for the bag. So I'll be using this yellow cardboard paper for that. So now let's go ahead. We are going to cut all the patterns for this bag here. So the measurement for this bag will be 8 by 7 inch. So it will be 8 by 7 inch. That will be for the pattern for the back. That's the front and the back side of this bag. So let's go ahead and cut it out now. Sorry, the pattern for this bag is 8 by 6.5 inch. It will be 8 by 6.5 inch for the bag. Sorry, I'm using this as a ruler. I don't know whether it's my kids, don't mind me, that took my ruler to school, but I'm still looking for this. So I've just used something that is straight. Don't mind me about that. So after this, I will now go ahead and measure 0.6 inch or 0 and 6 inch up here. I'll measure it here also. Then after measuring this one now, I will now go ahead and use this. I'll place it on top of it to use it to draw a straight line. Then I'll stop at the point I measured 8 inch down here. Just watch me as I draw the straight line here. After drawing the straight line this side, I will still go ahead and do that at the other side also. Thank God I'll find my ruler, so it's not my kids. Don't mind me about all these things. It's just a joke. So now, after measuring this side, I will still do the same thing at this place. Can you see what I'm doing here? So after this now, I will now go ahead and cut it out. That will be the front and back pattern for those bag. Then after that, the next thing I will go ahead and cut out is the flap for the bag. I'll cut out the flap for the bag. Remember, the flap of the bag will be the same measurement from the upper side of the main body of the bag coming down. If I measure something like 5 or 4 inch down here, that will be for the flap of the bag. So it will be the same measurement for the upper side of the main body of the bag. That's the back or the front side of the bag. Remember, the back side and the front side of those main body of the bag is the same measurement. So that's why I told you I might be using the front or the back side to get the measurement for the flap for the bag. So now after measuring it this way now, the next thing I will do is to go ahead and cut the other side of those bag. That's the flap and the round body. I told you this bag is simple and easy, and it can wait. You don't usually waste time on sewing it, so you can use just 10 minutes or 15 minutes to sew this bag. The only stress is for you to cut the pattern. Then after cutting the pattern now, I will place it on top of the leather that I will use. Then I'll use to cut it out. So after cutting it here, I'll still go ahead and cut the flap as I told you. The flap of the bag would be the same measurement of the upper side of this main body of the bag. I told you this one I cutted out now will be the same measurement that I will use at the back side and the front side of the bag. So I don't need to cut it too, because this one have already covered the back side and the front side of the bag. While cutting it on the leather now, then I'll place it to use it to cut it into two. So this one will be the flap side of the bag. Just watch me, you will see the way I will do it here. Can you see what I have done here? So from down one this side now, I will now measure out 5 inch here. So I'll measure out 5 inch. So the flap of this bag will be 5 inch by the same measurement of the upper side of the bag. Because this bag, the upper side is 8 inch, I have cutted out 0.6 inch this side and 0.6 inch this side. So I will subtract the two 0.6 inch. So adding two of them together, I will now subtract it from the 8. So the remaining one will be the same thing that I will measure for the flap of this bag. So now let me go ahead and do this remaining one here. So after cutting the flap out, the next thing I will cut out is the round body of the bag. Then after that, the handle that will be on top of the flap. That's all for the bag. Then the next thing I will cut out, of which you have known that one, is the longer hand that I will measure 2 inch by 45 inch. That will be for the longer hand. Then for the shorter hand that will be on top of the flap, the measurement I will use will be 12 inch by 1 inch. So that will be for the handle on top of the flap of the bag. So after that, now the next thing I will do is to place all these ones on top of a leather, then I will use it to cut it. So for this and this is the flap and the back side of the bag. So now for me to get the round body of the bag, I will measure it round except the upper side of it. Except the upper side, but for this three corner I will measure it, and what I got on my own is 19.5 inch, or we call it 19 and 5 inch. That will be for the round body, and it will be 19 and the 5 inch point by 3 inch. So it's 19.5 inch by 3 inch. That will be for the round body of the bag. So coming here, I will use my paper tape to do that also. So the yellow paper tape that I'm using is not okay, so now I'll be using this green one to cut it out. It's still the same thing, just color is different. So I'll be measuring 19.5 by 3 inch. That will be for the round body of the bag. So after measuring it out with this cardboard paper, the next thing I will do is to place it on top of the leather that I'll be using. The leather I will use on this will be a strong leather, because I will not be folding it with a stiffener or a marco. I'll just sew it that way. Either I add the edge coat, I will just leave it that way. But for me now, I don't have edge coat, so I will sew it that way. But if you want to do your own, you can go ahead and add edge coat on it, because it beautifies the bag very well. So let's go ahead and cut it out. So I'll use my leather and place, I'll be using my ruler and place it on top of what I've measured. So I'll use it to draw a straight line. So after drawing the straight line now, I will now cut it out. So after cutting this one now, I think I have done with the pattern for the back. So the next thing I need to do is to place it on top of a leather. Then I'll cut the main material that I will use. Then I'll keep this one as a pattern for my own. So that each time I want to sew this type of bag, no need of disturbing myself to cut the pattern again. And that's what you're supposed to be doing in all your bag. Make sure you have patterns that will help you. Anytime you want to sew the bag, you just go ahead and then you cut out the patterns for the back. So coming here, sorry, the only thing I need to do now is for me to show you the handle for the upper side of the bag. And I told you that the handle for the upper side of the bag is 10 by 1 inch because I will not be folding it out. You can just cut it out by any leather, not drafting the pattern, but I just want to use it to show you the pattern drafting for the bag. So after cutting the main handle for the bag, that's the upper one that will be on top of the flap, I'll still go ahead and cut out this one. Now this one will be the handle that will be by the side, the way I will put the D-ring or round ring for the longer handle for the bag. So that one is the one that will be holding the small handle that will be by the side of the bag. So after cutting it now, I will still curve it by the two sides of the handle of the bag. So watch me as I do that one now. So I will just use my pen and curve it the way I want it to be. No need of drafting it with the tape to measure it out. Just curve this small. That's all for this one now. So after covering it this way, I will now fold it into two. That's how I'll put the D-ring or any curved ring that I want to use for the handle, that's the side of the bag. So after drafting it out now, these are all the patterns that I will use: the back one, the front side, the flap, the handle, and round body of the bag. All these are the pattern that I'll be using, and I told you the handle that will be on top of the bag will be 10 by 1 inch. So this is the 10 by 1 inch handle that will be on top of the flap of the bag. So after cutting it out, I will still go ahead and curve this small because I don't want it to be a straight line. I want it to be curved at the end of the two sides of the handle for the upper flap of the bag. So this is the shape after covering it. So these are all the pattern that you have already drafted out. You need to draft out some patterns for your bag, so each time you want to sew a bag, it will not disturb you, because the most stress you can pass through is pattern drafting for your bag. So after cutting the patterns for the back, I told you it's 8 by 6.5. I looked at the length of the back. It's so higher, the height and the length. So I just removed 1 inch. So making it now 7 by 6.5 inch instead that 8 inch I told you before. So on this now I've removed this. So I now use this to make the handle that will be by the side of the bag instead of using the pattern, but you can also use the pattern just for me not wasted leather. That's why I'm using this one to replace that pattern that I have drafted out already. But if you look at it now, you still see that they are still on the same measurement of the bag. So after cutting this one now, the next thing I will do for me to gather all of them together and sew it. So let's go ahead and do that one. This is the shape of those one now. So now the first thing I will do is for me to go ahead and add the flap on the back side of the bag. So all these are the material that I'm going to use. This one is the handle that I told you before that will be on top of the flap of the bag. The one you can hold it, that small handle for the bag. After that, I'll still show you the longer hand, but if I did not do so, I'll still tell you the measurement. The measurement I usually use for the longer handle for the bag is the 2 by 30 45 inch. Then coming here, there's the flap for the back. Coming to this one that will be on top of the back side of the bag, I measured 1.5 inch here. Then coming here, I measured 1 inch, joining it with 1.5 inch. That's where I will do it. Then I'll curve it small from the 1.5 inch coming to the 1 inch. Then after that, I will just curve it with my scissors. The reason why I'm covering here is why sewing is to not be an obstruction for the needle to pass through. Can you see? So I will shape in a way that it will not distract the needle while the needle is passing or while I'm sewing the other one side of the bag. So after shaping it this way now, I will now go ahead and bring back the back side of the bag. So this is how it will be. Can you see all these I'm talking about? This is how it will be now. Then after this, I will now go ahead and measure out where I will put it because I want it to be on a straight line. I will now measure 1 inch here and I will also measure 1 inch at the other extreme side of the bag. Then after measuring 1 inch now, I will now go ahead and place it on top of it where the 1 inch stopped. Then that is where I will sew it. I will double sew it now so it will be so strong. Then after that, I will now go ahead and add the round body of the bag after sewing this one. Just wash out as we do that. So after sewing it, can you see how I will fold it after adding the front side of the bag and the round body of the bag? This is how it will look like. So the next thing I will do now is for me to go ahead and add the round body of the bag. I'm just using this to shake to make sure they are equal and they are the same center of the flap of the bag. So after this now, the next thing I will do is to go ahead and add the handle, that the smaller handle where I'll put the D-ring or round ring for the bag. Then I'll add it here. Then I will now go ahead and sew it together with the round body of this bag. So now coming here, after adding the handle, I will now go ahead and hold these two together this way. Make sure they are equal at the two sides of the bag. Then I will now go ahead and sew it round. So I need to be sewing it small small to make sure they are equal. I don't want anyone to shake because I'm not using gum. Sometimes I use gum to hold two of them together before sewing it so that they will line at the same line of it. But because I'm not using gum, I will make sure that two of them are equal. That's why I'm just sewing it small small. So now after sewing it, this is how it will be. Can you see? This is how it will be with the back side and the flap and the round body of the bag. So the remaining one now, I told you this bag is as easy as ABCD. The remaining one that I will do now is for me to go ahead and they add the handle that will be at the flap of the bag. I supposed to add this handle before I join this flap with the back side, but as a human being, I did not remember it again, but now I'll go ahead and do that. I'll just measure half inch this side and half inch the other side. Then after that, from where I join this flap with the back side of the bag, I will measure 3 inch up. Then from there, I'll add the handle of the bag. So now after sewing this is how it will be. Then the next thing I will do now is to go ahead and add the front side of the bag. That's all for the bag. Then I'll add the magnets. Then I will also add the fancy for the bag. I told you this bag is simple and it don't waste much of our time. So after this, I will now go ahead and add it this way. Then I will sew it round as I did on the back and the round body of the bag. So after sewing this one now, the next thing I will add there is the magnet I will put on the flap and the front side of the bag. That's what I will use to cover it. So it will hold two of them together. So now this is the bag that we are talking about. This is the design of the bag. This bag now so beautiful and so fine. I love this bag so much. Now this is the fancy that I'll add on the bag. I also use my pin and pin it very well, but I want to show you how it would look like. Let me just use my scissors to tag it small here. Then I'll add on the other side. Then after that, I also add the magnet. That's the bonge key that I'll use to lock this bag. Can you see how this bag looks like? It's so yummy, yummy, and so beautiful. Can you see this bag? This bag is simple to make and easy and ABCD. And this is another design that I also add there. Then after doing everything, remaining the longer handle as I told you the measurement, this is how this bag look like. It's not beautiful and nice. Please, 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 if you like this bag, just touch the like button bagam so that you like my video. You also share this video to your friends.